Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
These four rooms, bright and iron and withered fumes, far below these sinful means.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dave Darren Show. Tonight we're going to get to know each other, okay? You know, I thought about this. I thought, we're all going to survive this thing going on now because no one in my group here of friends is telling me that they're suffering from any of the symptoms. So I think we're going to get through this. I think we're going to live long and prosper as Mr. Spock, not Dr. Spock. Remember Dr. Spock? Wasn't he like that kid's doctor? Mr. Spock of Star Trek. Can you do this? I can do this with one hand. I can't do it with the other. Maybe because this finger I got this playing beach volleyball. It's a little bit bent. So you see that? So it's a good thing I can still play the guitar. It's a good thing it didn't bend up. It bent down a little bit. See, I can't make it totally straight. See, I can't do that. So tonight we're going to meet all of you guys. We're going to find out about who you guys are. We have a brand new guy to the show, a brand new viewer, and we're going to talk to him in a couple minutes. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to meet each other. I want to find out about you guys. Now we're all on break. Are you enjoying your time on break? It's not supposed to be really enjoyable, but I think we're starting to get used to it a little bit. I'm starting to get used to it. When it first happened, I was getting a little bit of anxiety. I couldn't really get motivated to do a lot of stuff. I was thinking, man, this is kind of a bummer. What's going on here? My employees are working, so that's kind of cool. I've got them all working at home. I'm working at home to help them out a little bit remotely, but I couldn't get in the real groove of it. Now I'm getting into the real groove of it. So I think it's working out for me, for the guys that work for me, for the businesses that they work for. So it's kind of working out. I'm seeing a lot of bands, a lot of musicians. Like Brad Mercer, by the way. I'm going to mix something of Brad Mercer stuff up because I missed most of it last night. I missed about half of it. So I got the whole thing. I'm going to air it tomorrow. So all you guys that missed it can see it in its replay because I got Brad to give me permission to do that. So it's going to be cool. So we're going to have that tomorrow night. But tonight I want to find out, you guys all come on here and a lot of you guys chat. And some of you guys call in, but I'm going to put you on the spot. If I see you here, this is going to be scary. If I see you on here, that means I'm going to call you out. Like I see right now, Kathleen, I see Jeff. I'm going to call on you guys, and I'm going to say, guys, Jeff, it's time for you to call in. I'm going to say, Jeff, call in. I want to find all about you. I want to find out about if the job you got that maybe you're on a break from right now, is it really a job you want to get back to? Like now you're on this little separation from your work potentially. And you're probably doing little hobbies, little things that you maybe wanted to do. Like a lot of people are like writing books. Some people are playing the guitar when they haven't played for a while. Some people are doing some auto mechanics or doing some house repairs. They may get into, house repairs. They're thinking, okay, I'm going to go out now. I'm going to buy investment properties that are like foreclosed houses. I'm going to restore them and flip them and sell them. You may be wanting to do that. You may want to get into some maybe car, maybe you're into collector cars. Maybe you're going to start buying some cars, do some work on them, and flip them. I don't mean flip the car while you're driving. I mean flip the cars and make some cool cash doing that. It's kind of cool working on cars. I like classic cars. Today I'm surprised I got energy because I was out today like 4 hours doing some car work on my car today. So let's see. We are going to talk to let me get the new caller in here right now. I got his phone number. And I'm going to ring him. And he said he was sleeping. So he said, call him to wake him up. See if we can call him to wake him up. It's going to be cool. Maybe we'll get the guy when he's sleeping. That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? See, I got the number here. I got to press the button. I got it. And I pressed the button. Let's see if we get him on here. One ringy-dingy, two ringy-dingy. Remember Lily Tomlin? We talked about her, last night. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Jameson, is this you? Hey, Jameson, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Dave Darren. I'm calling you right now for the radio show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, I thought I woke you up because you told me to wake you up. So I figured, it's going to be cool to wake you up and see how you sound when you're like just waking out of that sexy dream you had about all the groupies that were hanging around you when you were in a band. So I thought I'd wake you up in the middle of one of those little sexy wet dreams you were having.
No.
So
it was just a long night last night. And then I woke up in the morning and I thought it was nighttime. So I'm calling some girls and nobody yelled at me.
No one yelled at you?
None of the girls yelled. No. So then I called, because we're all sitting home, I call my sister and she goes, do you know it's 5 in the morning right now? And I go, oh, I thought it was 5 at night.
So you were smoking a little bit of that hillbilly Rastafari, right?
No, I don't do that. More of like Seagum 7 on the rocks with a splash of Coke.
Okay, did you ever hear, I had this one band on a long time ago called Hillbilly Barbecue Band. They're a Phoenix, Arizona band. And they came on and they did like a commercial spot for me. And they were talking about Hillbilly Rastafari. I never heard it called that. Did you ever hear it called that?
No.
Yeah, it's a new one on me too. And I was even Googling it today because I thought about it. And I Googled it and I can't find out. Hillbilly Rastafari. I'm going to have the guys on. And maybe that's something that they make and maybe they call it that for some reason. I have no idea. It sounds like formaldehyde. Maybe they're smoking formaldehyde. Who knows?
Hey, there was speaking of hillbilly, there was some guy on Jerry Springer called Hillbilly Kung Fu, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's real stupid.
Well, have you ever seen a show on Jerry Springer or a guest on Jerry Springer that wasn't stupid? Come on now.
Yeah. It's not like daytime TV is my forte, but when you're locked in the house and you got nothing to do, sometimes you got to watch the stuff or you got to figure out what you're going to do, man.
Yeah, well, you had stuff to do. You said you called up a bunch of girls today. So you called them up. Were these like ex-girlfriends? You go through your little black book. By the way, we're introducing people to each other today. All my listeners, we're going to talk to them and figure out who they are. So did you go through a black book? Uh-oh, what's that noise?
Yeah. Well, see, I need a maid at my house right now.
Uh-huh.
And I had a couple drinks in me.
Uh-huh.
So, you got to understand, I thought it was nighttime. So 5:30 in the morning, it was a friend of a girlfriend who I called. And I know she cleans houses.
Huh.
And I told her pretty much, you're, in the end, she's like, I can't talk right now, all that. I'm like, I just want you to know you're hot.
Oh. And she knows you. Does she know you? She's seen you. She's met you, or what's the scoop with that?
Oh, yeah.
Now, was she complimented by that, or was she pissed off? Like you didn't send her a dick pic or anything like that, right?
No. I don't know if she takes it as a compliment, but I just did it. A couple drinks in me, and I need a maid. That's what she does. But it's kind of wrong for me to be thinking it's 5:30 at night when it's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm calling people.
Yeah, right.
At least she didn't yell at me. That was all right. So, but nobody told me it's 5:30 in the morning. What the fuck are you doing calling me? I thought it was 5:30 at night. So
right. Well, here's the thing you can do to see if she's interested in you. I'll give you a little hint here. What you do is you tell her you're going to hire her as a maid. She's going to agree to that because she's probably looking for some cash now because it's hard. It's a hard time right now. So tell her you'll leave the key under the mat. And she's welcome to come in and set up an appointment like 2 o'clock or in the afternoon, like on a Monday or whatever it is. Put the key under the mat, and then you're in bed and you're naked in bed, right? She puts the key, takes the key under the mat, opens the door, and you're there naked in bed. You can find out if she's interested in you right then and there. Right then and there, you can find out.
Well, that's one way to plan out a situation.
Well, see, I'm the Jerry Springer of radio. I'm not only the Jerry Springer, I'm the matchmaking Jerry Springer. I'm the equivalent of both put together.
Right.
Now, by the way, for my audience that's never met you, first of all, you are a drummer. Are you still a drummer? You were a past drummer. You were in a band. Tell me about that.
It's a long story, but we'll make it. No, I'm a drummer, but the videos that I gave you, they came off of VCR tape. And I have many stuff. I have so many bands that I have on VCR tape because the video that I gave you, or what I showed you, was me at age 23. I don't even know how I ran into you online. I have no clue how you popped up, and I don't even remember. It was I think I met you when I was at 5:30 in the morning when I thought it was 5:30 at night. So I don't know if a friend sent you over to me or whatever, but I said, all right, let me check this guy out, and I responded. So I don't know what your popularity is. I have no clue on really what you do. I thought it was intelligent the way you wrote something, and I wrote you back on that. I read stuff, so if I read something and you sound intelligent, I'm going to give you respect. But it was very interesting on how you said you said it very intelligent, and I said, all right, I got to talk to this guy, find out who he is. But I really don't know who you are, man.
Right. Well, the negative thing is you found me, you thought I was intelligent. Now you're on my show, so you realize all that was bullshit. I had my wife write that. She's the intelligent one in the family. I'm the guy that's all messed up. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, by the way. But in the reality, what I do is I used to do a music show. I used to interview bands and play their music videos on the air, and it was kind of cool. I was doing it in New York City. So you may have met me somehow a long time ago in the past. You might have even come across me when I used to do that. And then I went to doing a paranormal UFO show, believe it or not. And now during this little break here that we're all on these little sabbaticals, now I just have my audience and we talk to each other, we figure out what's going on. And tonight we're just getting to know each other, which is kind of cool because the guys have been watching me. They seem to have some interest in me, and I'm not sure why. And you have an interest in me because you found me based upon like 3 sentences, which is really, really cool. And I found you and I checked out your video, which is a VHF thing. And it came out pretty good, by the way, for VHF. And for like a longer time ago, it still rocks. I liked it. I thought you guys were really good musicians back then. The long hair, music, it was the hair band. You were in a hair band, obviously, right?
Yeah. If you want to continue with this one, the story is I lived out in Hollywood for a while. I did competitions. I went to music school. So if you see I write MIT, that's funny. So under my name, if you look at me on Facebook, it says MIT. And what that stands for is not MIT, the MIT. What it stands for is Musician Institute of Technology in Hollywood I went to.
Oh, cool.
Right. But I used that to my advantage because when the music industry got crazy, when I was out in Hollywood for 80s and 90s hair bands, and we had a huge earthquake and Nirvana came in, the music industry died in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it went, and if you remember that, it went to Seattle. So now it went to Seattle, Nirvana came in, changed the whole music industry, and we had an earthquake out in Hollywood, and everybody left because FEMA came in. We didn't have anywhere to live. I was living at Hollywood Billiards in Hollywood, which they had, you walk in this huge building, you go down the stairs, and there's 200 pool tables. Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, Frank Sinatra, they all used to hang there. Well, they had rooms. They had a door to the left before you go downstairs at Hollywood Billiards. There's a room where I had a key to, and they had rehearsal studios upstairs where we could live there. When the earthquake hit, the building, Hollywood Billiards, was condemned. So you couldn't live there. You couldn't live there. But the interesting part was, as we got in the building and still lived there, the interesting part that nobody knew was there were tunnels that for back in the day, all the gangsters, if the cops were coming in, there were tunnels that went under the street, across Hollywood Boulevard, under the street to the hotel across the street. And we found those tunnels. It was a very interesting life that I lived being a musician. To take it to the next level, to actually go out and fight out in California to play again after I left after I graduated music school out there. So I came home, got in a band here, the band Street that I gave you. And then after that, I went back out to California. Hold on. Who's calling me? Oh, this guy's a trip. You want to hear some messed up shit?
Go, yeah, put him on. Put him on. Let's mix him. Let's mix him into the conversation.
Brian. Yeah, what do you got? Hey, I'm on talk show radio right now. This guy is called Dave Darren Show. I'm actually live right now talking to him. Yeah, I know.
Well, what's that guy all about? What's he calling you about? What's he doing? Is he trying to? What's his call? What's he calling you for? Is he trying to set you up with something tonight, like a girl, a hooker, or some weed, or what's he calling you for?
No, it's just a talk show, man.
Well, I know what I do. I'm asking you what this guy's doing, calling you. I know what I do.
Right.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, you're right now talking to a lot of people. I don't know how many people he's got in the background, but you're out in L.A. Brian's out in L.A. right now in lockdown, Dave.
Oh, okay. Now he's not locked in one of those tunnels that you found between the.
No. He's just out there. When I went to that Musician Institute, I was out there in 1987. Brian actually had the apartment where all us musicians paid Brian to actually live there. So this is Brian on the phone. I actually lived in a walk-in closet. No, I'm not joking. Brian had the master bedroom. We had Paul Monroe. He was the drummer in heavy metal band XYZ. He slept next to the kitchen, and then we had this other character called Midge. His name was Matt. He was kind of a trip because back in his day, he did some sort of weird acid, and every once in a while he'd black out. It'd be real freaky. He'd black out. He can't see, so he's disabled, but he went to the music school. And Brian on the phone right now actually is the person who, it was cheap rent. It was off Hollywood Boulevard. Musician Institute was right down the street, the school. But Brian was the landlord, let's say. Brian, you want to say hi?
Brian, how's it going, man? Good to talk to you. Oh, I think he gave up on Dave Darren. He probably looked me up already. But so he was like the rich entrepreneur guy because he owned the place and he's got all you guys sleeping all over the place. He doesn't care where you're sleeping. He's just collecting the rent from you guys. He got one guy on acid is blacking out. As long as he paid the rent, he was cool with that. So were you guys all musicians and all in different bands, or you?
Yeah. No, we were all musicians going to the music school.
At the music school, right? Were you playing then? Because you were probably at the music school, but you were probably performing then as well, right? Of course you were.
No. We were just every day going to study music and going to the school. The school was a trip. Actually, if anybody can, I don't know how many people you got listening to this, but a lot of guys from Berkeley, they leave Berkeley and they go to this one-year school called the Musician Institute of Technology out in Hollywood. And they come from all over the world. Some of the best musicians you ever saw. And they go to the school because they want to get in with the studio cats who teach at the school. So I studied with Ralph Humphrey, who played with Frank Zappa. I learned odd meter. He taught at the school when he wasn't touring. Steve Houghton taught at North Texas State and then was doing all the commercials, all the studio work out in California. So he taught at the school. So like the jingle for the Love Boat, he did that. But he also taught a real famous drummer, a real clean playing drummer, not sloppy, Greg Bissonette, who played with Maynard Ferguson. My favorite work he did, you can't find it. I found it, it's on my Facebook page. He played with a saxophone player called, what's the guy's name? Brandon Fields. And there was an album on vinyl called The Other Side of the Story, but you can't get it. I found it online, so I put it on my Facebook page, but my favorite tracks that he did, it's some complicated stuff, but Greg Bissonette also played with, what's his name? Not Van Halen, David Lee Roth.
Oh, very cool. Wow. Well, from Van Halen, obviously, the front man from Van Halen. Wow.
So Greg Bissonette played for Maynard Ferguson, the trumpet player. But he studied from Steve Houghton, my teacher. So it was a trip. Actually, it was such a beautiful school. The Berkeley guys left Berkeley. So I was with... I was roommate at one time with Pete Maloney. He was the drummer that played with Dishwalla. And that other band. So who else? Not Incubus. But he played with Dishwalla. That song that goes, "Tell me all your thoughts on God, because I really want to meet her. Tell me blah 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 blah." So he toured. He got to tour around the world, Pete. And it was a trip because the members of Dishwalla, one of the guys at the house where I live, he dated a girl who was she worked at Mel Gibson's office for his, these movie stars have offices and stuff. So she was connected with Mel Gibson. So she worked for the movie industry. But the life I lived out there was a trip, I must say. And going through, at one point, I broke up with my Playboy centerfold wife, and
wow.
I couldn't stand her anymore. And so I put in the Music Connection. It's a magazine. Yeah, you can put an ad in for free. It's called the Music Connection. They have it out in LA and they have it in New York. And I wrote a crazy ad, and I went out for the old Lynch Mob singer from Docking.
Yeah, okay.
So then you got George Lynch, and then George Lynch put together a band, and then you got his singer was Ed August. So I was pissed off at the Playboy centerfold who I married. I don't want to talk about it. We eloped in Las Vegas. I asked her to marry me, but long story. Anyway, I went out for this band. They called me, and I won an audition out of 150 drummers. So Red Light District now is a porn company. They're our management company. So the gig that I won with this band, with the lead singer from George Lynch, the band, they said, hey, you took the gig, we're ready to go. And I moved into the house, the band house. While I'm moving into the house, you said I'm a lunatic, right? You said I'm kind of a nut job, all I've been through. I move into the house, and Red Light District is a porn company that manages also rock bands. So the porn industry is very tied to the rock and roll industry back then. Okay? So they want to make money. So Ed August goes to me, you got the gig with us. Do you want to move in the house? I go, yeah, sure. I can't stand my fucking wife. I just left her. She cheated on me with some NBC executive that she used to know in Burbank. So I said, no, I'm ready to fucking go back and do it. And he goes to me, do you have any problem moving in the house with porn stars? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no. Why would I have a problem with that? I don't. So I moved in the house, and they used the house as a location to shoot porno. While the band rehearsed in the garage, which was made into a rehearsal studio. And it's a pretty amazing story how not only that the industries are both tied together back in the 80s, right, when big hair bands like Motley Crue and Skid Row were all there. It was pretty cool for me to land that gig, man. And I worked real hard at my drumming to do that. And so they asked me, so the first room in the house was Orgy Georgie and Nikki Wilde, the two porn stars. And then it was me in the middle bedroom, and then it was Ed August with porn. She did makeup and hair for porn, right? So I moved in the house. I didn't have any problem with it. They'd shoot porn videos, and we were able to walk in. The porn industry, Red Light District, who managed our band, would cater food to the whole house. Everybody's taken care of, and they we could walk in a room in the living room and watch different movies going on. The porn stars didn't care. But I don't know if your show is about that.
Yeah, it is. It is. Let me ask you some questions now. I'm curious. So you were living in this porn house where they also have musicians playing. So why isn't the porn music better? Like when I see a porn, the music sucks. I wish the bands did better music for the porn industry. Why isn't it?
Okay, I can answer that.
Yeah, I'm curious. The music sucks. I want to hear. I want porn music. I want porn movies to have great rock and roll music in the background.
Is this type of show, is this going to knock people out and they're not going to want to hear this stuff if I tell you this? Or do you enjoy talking about this?
No, this is great. This is perfect for my show, in fact. This is exactly what I want the show to be. Tell me all about it. Why isn't the porn music better?
All right. The porn there was another porn star who played guitar, and he wasn't that good, but he's a porn star. So the porn companies allowed him to play his music because he's in the porn industry, and he, I don't think they have to pay him that much.
Well, he had fringe benefits, right? He's the guy that's a rock and roll guy, and he's doing the music he's doing the music for the porn industry. Yeah. He doesn't have to play the guitar. He doesn't have to play the guitar well.
Yeah, he's more doing the porn, but he knows how to play a little guitar.
Right. Well, he knows how to play a little bit of guitar, but he knows how to play a whole lot of penis, right? That's the way it was, right?
Yeah, it was a trip, man. I mean, I moved in this house. This is the shit that's going to freak all your people out right now.
No,
I moved in this house, and you got to understand. So, Red Light District, when I won the audition with the band, and they said, okay, you're in the band, we all went to the Rainbow Club.
Yeah, I know that place, so right? Okay. Right.
Yeah, we got the best table, that front table, where they have, where management was with us and everything, and we got to sit at that big table when you first walk in the door on the left, that big table they have. And so we were looking pretty hot, the band sitting in the Rainbow Club. And so anyway, I met this girl, Kathleen, and I told her, she was into the long hair band stuff, and I told her, yeah, I just got this audition. I won this audition, and Red Light District is our management. And she ended up being my girlfriend. The messed up part is, she ended up,
Before
you thinking?
I'm thinking this. I'm thinking, okay, so you met her. You're in the hair metal band or hair band that you're in. You met her there at the Rainbow Club. Then of course you're living in the porn palace, the porn place, right?
Right.
So you got to bring her in there because you're trying to hook up with her. You bring her there, and then she's interested in the other guys there, and she's doing a gangbang. She's doing a gangbang with all the guys.
No. It doesn't go like that. Hold up.
Okay.
The fucked up part is, prior to even meeting me, I don't know how the mathematics work in the world of science, but she used to do amateur porn. So now she gets with me. Now I bring her back to the house.
She became went from amateur to professional, right?
She wanted the money. So yeah, she was my girlfriend. She was willing. She asked me if it's okay. Now remember, I just broke up with my Playboy centerfold wife that I married in Vegas. Now that girl I lived with for 2.5 years in Connecticut with before going out to California. We fought a lot. But okay, so her first audition. I had to drive her to meet with Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. Okay, we all know Ron Jeremy. He's the guy that's hung like 9 inches, right? Remember, we know that guy.
Well, he's like an older porn star, like Seika, Nina Hartley, but he's still out there.
He's still out there. He is, right. He's still out there. Yeah, he is. He may look like Curly from the Three Stooges now, which is what he looks like, but he was a well-known porn actor. I know that. So Kathleen's meeting with Ron Jeremy. Is that right, Kathleen?
Yeah, I had the porn industry, because now she's making a decision, talking to Nikki Wilde and Orgy Georgie.
Puddin' Pie. Orgy Georgie, Puddin' Pie. Kiss the girls and make them cry.
Hold on. It's really nuts, my life. All right.
Yeah, I noticed.
So I got to take her now to meet Ron Jeremy. So we go to his house. They give us the address. We're at his house. And I'm okay because I still kind of love my wife, who fucked up and cheated on me with an NBC executive, and I caught her. So I took her to Ron Jeremy's house.
So wait. Let me interrupt you here for a second. So you had a Playboy centerfold, classy-looking wife that you broke up with, and now you're with Kathleen, and she wants to go to Ron Jeremy's house, right? So you,
No, you're wrong.
Oh,
David, she doesn't want to go to Ron Jeremy's house. The porn industry allows the new girls in porn. They go to, well, with Kathleen, they went to Ron's house to make sure she's not frigid.
huh?
So they get first dibs on the new girls coming in.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you're handsome or not. It's just the way it is. And yeah, so instead of testing her with Orgy Georgie right at the house, no, I had to drive her to Simi Valley to Ron Jeremy's house. And, it was cool going in his house. It was a trip, man. He had a closet full of all his toys with all his name, his advertising on it and stuff. I'm actually friends with him.
Still, to this day, didn't it smell bad in his house? He's had all those women in there. It must have smelled bad,
because of it. Yeah, no, Dave, because of this whole music industry thing, with meeting Ron and stuff, he saw our band play, and he liked my drumming, and we became friends, so every once in a while, I'd be like, Ron, you want to meet at the Rainbow Club? He's like, yeah, I'm down here now. Come on down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a real trippy situation what happened in the 80s and 90s. And it's amazing how the rock and roll industry interacted with the porn industry out there. Once Lena got her deal to do porn. The famous rock and roll people might have a girlfriend. I don't want to say who. I don't want to give up their privacy on this show. But if there was a lot of drugs going on too back then. So let's say a rock star, if you want to call him, a touring musician, had a girlfriend, and they like one of the girls that are in porn. The girls could make extra money by doing like having a threesome. So the rock musician who tours has money, he's connected, he's got his girlfriend, and they're all hot for this one girl. And sometimes it was Lena, my girl. So I allowed her to go out and make the extra money. So
now you jumped to Nina? So did you mention there's a girlfriend named Nina? I thought we were all Kathleen.
Lena. No, I dated. I was living in the middle bedroom at the house. Her porn name was Lena.
Oh, the porn name. Okay, that's important to know because I'm going to look it up later. So I wouldn't have found Kathleen to whack off to. So Lena. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to look up Lena.
Watch how fucked up this is now.
more than before. Okay. Go ahead.
Wait, hold up. The Playboy Centerfold. Now that I get the gig, I win the gig, and I got management, and I'm living at this house. Now the girl who cheated on me with the NBC executive, who I eloped with in Vegas,
right?
She tried to kill herself.
Oh.
Yeah. And we catch her.
You caught her. You caught her jumping off the building. A 6-story building, you caught her.
Taking a bunch of pills. Taking a bunch of fucking pills, man. And I had to, my singer was with me, my new singer. So that was that night at the Rainbow Club. So I said, hey, man, I still like this girl. This is before this happened. So I said, well, I still want to go see Jack. I don't want to say her name. So we walk in the door. I wasn't going to take her back. She cheated on me.
Right.
All right. So I win the gig. I got management now. What? Now you want me back? What? All right. So I brought my singer over to the apartment where we lived, on Riverside Drive in Burbank. And we walked through the door, and she sat up naked in front of him and me, and we saw the pill bottles on the ground, and her mind was gone. So he got to see her tits. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I said, dude, I said to this new singer, no, get out. I got to deal with this shit. So then the ambulance came, and they had to put charcoal down her stomach and pump her stomach and all that shit. But what should I have done? Should I have gone back to her?
Oh, you're
asking, after she tried to kill herself, or should I have just stayed at the band house and said, "Fuck this shit"?
Well, I don't know, but I do have Dr. Phil calling in right now, so he may be able to answer your question. Dr. Phil's on the line right now. I'm joking, but I don't know. She tried to kill herself. You were there. Were you there to try to take her back and potentially go back to her? You were there for that moment? No, right?
See, the fucked up part is when you do good in life.
Yeah. Oh, then they want you back. Right.
Now they want you.
Right.
But
then I don't understand why the pill thing took place, because she wanted you back, and you weren't you weren't saying, you didn't say no yet. You didn't say no yet to her to discourage her, and then
I did. No, I did.
Oh, you did. Oh,
yeah, I said no.
Gotcha. And then after that, she took the pills, and then you're in a guilt trip now, because although she's still alive now, probably, right? She's still alive.
Like I said, science and math and astrology, I don't know how it worked out, but me and my singer went to see her because I'm thinking, all right, maybe I should go see her. Maybe I'll take her back. And she's ODing right in front of us. I mean, I hated it, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't like to see that.
Yeah, of course not. So that was the your girlfriend. Well, you were married to her for a while. How long were you married to her for? Like a couple of years? 1 year?
One day.
One day.
Yeah.
So,
I lived with her in Connecticut for 2.5 years.
Uh-huh.
And then we started to argue a little bit, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm leaving. I got in my truck and I went out to California and left her here." That's the Playboy Centerfold. So
right.
I go to California, and me and her are still talking because I love her still, right? Even though we argue, but I had to say, "I'm getting the fuck out of here, bitch. I'm going to California, and I'm going to go play drum." It doesn't work out perfectly all the time with us men and women, because women can actually maneuver our brains on thinking something else. So they can turn to you, even though you argue with them. I left her.
You're being maneuvered because she's maneuvering her sexy Playboy body in front of you. She's maneuvering the breasts and the booty. So that's the maneuvering, right? That's the maneuvering right there.
Yeah, listen, never marry a stripper.
I dated a stripper for a while. I have to tell my audience about that for a while. But now, so you married her. You got married in Las Vegas. You eloped to Vegas. You probably got married by Elvis Presley impersonator. You're married one day.
All right. You just said something beautiful. Does your audience know that if you go to Vegas, okay, you can go into a church and they give you a menu.
Give you a menu.
So if you want the song, that's $5. If you want if you want whatever you want, if you want pictures, that's $10. This is back in the day. But yeah, no, it wasn't Elvis Presley, but it was a little white church. And I had the limo. I set it all up with the casino. We stayed at the casino, but does your audience know that if you want to elope and go to L.A. like Britney Spears did with her fucking boyfriend or whatever the fuck happened, and they broke up the next day, you can go down to Las Vegas and get married real quick, because you've got a couple drinks, whatever. Women drive you up a fucking wall, man.
Yeah, well, here's what happened. So you went to Vegas. You got married by, I said, an Elvis Presley impersonator, and then you were only married one day, and you get divorced by a tattoo. You got divorced by a tattoo impersonator from Fantasy Island, right? One day.
No. We didn't. No, the divorce didn't go through for years later.
Oh, really?
So I came back.
But you're only married for one day, and then you were separated for like a year. But you were married one day, together for one day, right?
Happily married for one day. I go to work.
Well, you are a greedy guy. You want to be happily married for more than one day? You are a greedy guy.
Well, I get to live out in California. I get carpet installation. I was a carpet installer.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
well, maybe the problem is she's a lesbian. She was a carpet installer as well. She liked the carpet, right? That could have been why.
That's not. You know what? She could be. I don't care.
Yeah.
What? Right? But she was fucking hot. I mean, I really did love her. I think. I mean, but we came back from Vegas.
Yeah. Well, let me break in here for a second because let me backtrack on this. So you got married. The problem is you decided the wrong thing when you're in Vegas with the girl. You got married. You got the menu for like if you want a song, if you want Elvis, if you want all the nice stuff. You could have picked up a hooker, and they give you a menu too. You'll get a menu for a blowjob or a regular lay or anal. So you went for the wrong menu, man. You went for the wrong menu. See?
She looked like Marilyn Monroe, man.
Oh.
I mean, to me, dude, no, she was beautiful, but her situation, her past,
do you still talk to her? Do you still talk to your ex-wife at all? Because if you do, I'd like to get her on the show.
No.
No. Okay.
No, I don't even know if she's alive. She had diabetes the whole time.
Wow. Now let's go to your. You're with that porn star who was supposed to be with Georgie Porgy Puddin' Pie, Kiss the Girls and Make Them Cry. That was a song from Toto, the band I had on the air not too long ago. So Georgie Porgy never did your amateur porn girlfriend who turned porn. Did she turn professional? Is she good at it? Like, is she someone that's well known?
She did, but we're going back. A lot of the porn stars retire.
They retire. Yeah, well, they got to. They got saggy breasts and all that and very wide vaginas. They got to retire. Right?
I don't know if I could say this about this Lena. Her pussy tasted so bad. It was fucking gross.
Well, let me ask you this. You said that you found these tunnels between the place you were staying and the other property, right? You found a tunnel underground. Was the amateur porn star, was her vagina as big as the tunnel you found in Los Angeles? Same size?
Why don't we go to commercial break and you show some people what I do on Raw?
I'll do that. Okay. I'll do that.
I need to make it great. I'll be back.
Okay, let's do that. I will play a clip from Jameson Pearson. By the way, it's funny to have Jameson Pearson on because he's got two last names where Dave Darren is two first names. So we're going to play this from his band called Street, recorded on a VHF back in when?
Back when I was 23, before I went out to LA. I know, whatever. I need a drink.
Okay, get a drink, and we'll be back in 4 minutes and 12 seconds because that's how long the clip is, okay? 4 minutes and 12 seconds, and I'll meet you back here, okay? By the way, in this 4 minute and 12 seconds, don't go look up your ex-girlfriend's porn and whack off because you need more time than that. So I'll see you back here, 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
She's fucking, the porn star's pussy. I wasn't in love with her. I love my wife, but my wife had diabetes. I mean, this is such a fucking mess.
No, it doesn't. It sounds very natural to me. It doesn't sound like a mess at all. This happens every day on my show. It's not a mess at all. It's very, very common. It's a very normal show. Okay.
I gotta go mix a drink. Play some music. I'm turning my speakers up now.
Okay, we'll see in a bit. Okay.
The porn star's pussy. I wasn't in love with her. I love my wife.
Okay, so here goes the music of Jason Pearson. Name of the band is Street.
Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, welcome back to the Dave Darren Show. Jameson is here. By the way, there's a Jenna Jameson who's a porn star. Remember her?
Yeah, I wasn't attracted to her, but no, she made a lot. She made good money.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'll tell you, during the break here, I took all the notes I was taking about all your stories here, and I rolled a joint with them because it was so interesting and yet so confusing. So where did we leave off? So we left off. Do you remember where we left off? Oh,
Are you fucking here, David? Come on. What do you want from me? What you want blood? I'm having a drink, having a cigarette. I know I suck. You drink tea.
How did you know that? Yeah, I'm drinking tea here. You're right. Right now. Well, it's funny, when I go out and I hear a band play, usually what I do, since I'm usually interviewing the band, because my show is going to go back to the rock and roll show back on in 4/29. So coming up the end of this month is going to go back to the music show, and you're on here as just a guest that came on out of the blue. But you've been this is exactly the type of show that my audience is going to get used to when they come back and visit the show on 4/29. So this is perfect. This is the perfect interlude for that. I love it because your life is fantastic. So.
Maybe I shouldn't tell everybody everything. Maybe we just fucking hold off and say, hey, you want the second chapter of hearing about the music industry and all this fucked up shit? We can wait.
Well, we can do that.
Get more.
Yeah, and we'll get more people to join that show because then I'll have my promoters on promoting the show. So you're exactly right. This can be like the teaser for the 429 show. So you're right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave everyone hanging because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to leave them hanging. So they want to know more about you and more about the story of you, more about the story of Hollywood, these tunnels underground, all the porn stars, all the groupies and all that. We want to know about everything from your life. So we're gonna leave the teaser for the rest of the guys, okay? Good idea. Good move.
Hey, Dave, there was a kid when I came back from LA, and I'm all fucked up, right? So I came back, and there was a kid. He had to interview someone. So he interviewed me. So he sat down. He videotaped. He wrote notes. He was in high school. He was one of my nephew's friends, and he interviewed me on my story about my life with the music industry. He got me flush. I was actually fucking proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really cool. So has your life always been, now you're some years later after the VHS stuff that we just saw and the rock music, which was really great, by the way. I loved it. But has your life been exciting until this point today? It's been a great ride for you all along, or did it slow down a bit and now you're just anxious to get that vibe back, or what's going on? You're not sure?
No, I know what I'm about to say, but I don't know if I want it to make it public.
Okay, all right. But you will when we come back and have you on the next show for part 2. You're gonna make it public then, though, right?
Yeah, I'll open up about how my life has been and what's been going on. Hey, man, you're a car guy?
Yeah, I am. That's right. But you've been checking me out during that little break. Yes, I am a car guy. Correct.
No, I just watched one of your vids, man. It said you go to car shows and shit.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I was going to car shows until this virus picked up. I was at like this Volkswagen car show, this Trans Am car show, because I still have my car from the 70s, by the way. So yeah, I go to car shows a lot too. There's probably a lot of them in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all used in the porn industry, right? A lot of cars in the porn industry, a lot of bets and stuff like that. When you see the guy,
I got more to tell you. Holy shit! You want to talk about fucking the owners of the porn companies and the guy Paul Fishbein who owns ADN? That's the trade show they do in Vegas. Because of the porn star, I got to meet Video Team and Chris Mann. Go to his warehouse because of the girl I was dating. And then I got to meet Paul Fishbein. And these are buildings in LA that don't have any sort of saying what the building is. It's just an address. It's not like, hey man, this is it's all caged in. It's not like fucking advertising, hey, this is Video Team. Right? Or this is ABN, the main office for ABN. Holy fuck! You want to talk about fucking cars, man? Shit! When I took that porn stuff, now after she met Ron Jeremy to make sure she was straight and not wiggly, she was okay to do porn. I hope this isn't going to kill you.
What do you mean?
I hope you enjoy this.
Yeah, well, what do you mean by wiggly? I'm not sure what you mean by wiggly. You mean going both ways, or what do you mean by wiggly?
If she's when she got with Ron Jeremy, what I'm saying is that they wanted to test her to make sure she's not afraid to do what she's about to do.
Okay. So.
All right, I'm sorry I used the wrong term, wiggly, because you'll take that and shoot it through the fucking moon.
Well, okay. So now, so she's not doing only single legs; she's doing like triple legs.
So what I'm saying is that when they test out new girls in the porn industry, and they make you got to go with Ron Jeremy. I mean, one time we could have him on the show. I could call him. He likes to get paid though, dude.
Yeah. Well, I've got a credit card. I can pay the guy something. Who knows? Maybe I'll do is I'll get him laid. I'll give him a credit card so he can get laid.
I one one time I had Ron Jeremy. I go, Ron, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while, and I'm back here in Connecticut. I go, hey, do me a favor, sing to my sister, my younger sister, happy birthday.
Oh, okay. There she is. Is she there right now? Can she hear me?
And he was at an airport, and he goes, dude, if I make public appearances, I get paid for this shit. I go, okay. All right, I just
but you didn't ask him. You asked him to sing to your daughter. Is it your daughter or your girlfriend? What was it?
No, forget daughter. No, my sister.
Oh, your sister. Over 18. Okay, so you asked Ron Jeremy to sing to your sister, and Ron Jeremy says, "I get paid for that." You didn't want Ron Jeremy to drop his pants and paint like eyes and a nose on the penis and sing with his penis.
No.
So you wanted to get paid for that? Why?
No, what I'm saying is, though, I'm friends with the guy. So when I call him to do something, like even talk to a personality, or I tell him, hey, man, can you do a favor for me and just sing happy birthday to my sister, because she'll freak out because it's Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Not that she's into porn or anything, but she laughed her ass off. So I got him to do it. I had to mail him some shower heads.
Well, the guy. Why would you have to mail him shower heads? The guy's getting head all the time. You don't have to mail him shower heads. Well, you had to mail him shower heads.
Ron goes to me. If we total phone in with your sister right now, and I'm going to sing happy birthday to her. He's sitting in a fucking airport. He said, "What are you doing for me?" And I go, "Ron, I bought these LED shower heads. Right? I thought they were cool on eBay a while back, a long time ago. So you plug the shower head in, and it lights up like a disco, and it's LED lights that actually the water makes something spin, and the lights turn on. So you have a shower head that lights up. You can buy these. You can look them up.
Right. Now,
so I bought 20 of these for Christmas gifts with all my family. I'll send you. He goes, I want 8 of them. If I'm going to sing for your sister, I want 8 shower heads. I go, okay, you got it. He sung for my sister happy birthday while sitting in an airport with a harmonica. He sang to my sister. I sent him the 8 shower heads he wanted. I only paid like $8 each for each one.
Well, you should be getting paid for that, because I'll tell you what happened. Because I pulled up some of Ron Jeremy's porn a couple nights ago. Now, he sang happy birthday to your sister. He wanted to get paid. You paid him with the shower heads that have the shower, and you have lighting on it, LEDs and all that. Those shower heads were in one of Ron Jeremy's most popular porn videos that he made a lot of money on, and your shower heads were in that porn video. You should be getting paid by him, because you lit up the scene in the shower with him with a girl, and they were making love in the shower. They were fucking in the shower. You should be getting paid for that. Look at that. You got ripped off. You sent him shower heads that were in his video. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. Now I told you that. You should get paid for that.
No, I didn't know that, but I can't call Ron Jeremy or the porn industry, because now he's with Amazing. Amazing video team Chris Mann passed away.
Oh.
So Amazing, the porn company Amazing, bought Video Team.
That's a terrible name. That's a terrible name for a porn company. It's got to be more creative than that. Amazing. That sounds like it's a video game company.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm just telling you, the porn company Amazing bought Video Team, and it's sad about. I got so many stories to tell you. Chris Mann, who ran Video Team out in L.A., I got so many stories to tell you. This guy, everybody said, "Why's your name Christian Mann?" Right?
Right.
That's like German. That's like German that's like Jewish, and I can't think anymore.
Well, maybe
I'm losing my mind.
He was probably trying to sell porn to the Catholic Church to all the priests there that were masturbating. Well, he was. His name's Christian Man. Yeah, Christian Man. Like I said, he's trying to sell porn to the Catholic school priests. So Christian Man.
This guy was genius, man. He spoke 8 languages. He would fly to Germany, okay, just to play a game of golf on a Learjet and fly back home with his friends. That's how much money is in the porn industry.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing, man, the people I met. And now we talk about Paul Fishbein. Holy shit, I could tell you a fucking story that'll blow your mind right now, man. When I got with Lena, you got to hear this one.
Lena, Lena is actually the amateur porn chick, and that was her porn name, right?
Yeah, that's my new porn girl, who I had to drive her over to Ron Jeremy to make sure she's not frigid, having sex on camera.
Make sure she wasn't. Make sure she wasn't squiggly. Wasn't that it? Squiggly or wiggly?
No. Forget that word, man. If you say that again, I'll get this. Make sure she's not nervous.
Right.
Doing it.
Okay.
Right? All right. So anyway, man, I just lost train of thought.
Did you ever get to do it with her? Did you ever do it with Kathleen? Did you ever make love to her? Did you ever screw her? She's so busy with Ron Jeremy and all this stuff. Did you ever get with her?
No, fuck Ron Jeremy. I love my wife still. She had diabetes. She tried to kill herself. I married her in Vegas. This girl was just like a fucking... I don't want to be nasty, man. She, even though she got into porn and all that, I didn't love her. I loved my wife.
Right.
I didn't love maybe I used her. Maybe I used Kathleen, Lena, the porn star. Maybe I used her as like a scapegoat to get over my wife. But I still love my wife.
Right.
Even though she tried to kill herself and all that shit. Even all the fucked up shit. I was upset with her. So yeah. Lena was kind of like, it was just like, shit. I didn't love her.
Well, it was better than a blow-up sex doll, because at least she had some flesh to her and some blood.
Right.
Better than a blow-up sex doll. Right.
Yeah. Yo, I got more stories, dude. You got to hear the story about, David, you're going to freak. Well, I had such an amazing life back then.
Yeah.
I would, remember, all these porn stars lived in the house, right?
Yeah, I remember that, right?
Watch. Holy shit. You're going to love this one. I walk out my bedroom door. They're having a party in the living room. All these porn stars. And I walk out to go to the bathroom across the hall. And the woman who won the award for being the best dominatrix was in the house with a whip.
Well, what else would she be there with, right?
As I left my bedroom with Lena to cross the hallway, she was there with a whip, and she snapped that whip at me. And so instead of going to the bathroom, I ran back into the bedroom with Lena. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Lena goes to me. She wants to fight you. Go out with the box, hold it, and let her whip the box. So I go back out into the hallway, and she's right there with the whip. Do you know she's probably standing 6 feet away from me? And do you know she took that whip and she nailed my fingertips holding the box?
Wow. Well, she'd be able to do that now because everyone's 6 foot away right now. So she'd be able to also whip your fingertip from 6 feet away. I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying the length of a whip or whatever. It was a trip, man. I got so many stories for you. I would wake up in the morning and go to take a piss. And I'd just be walking around in my bathrobe. And we had an underground swimming pool all all enclosed by fences, right? David, I go out to our back porch and just look at the sun shining. A beautiful morning. I got fucking naked porn stars lined up at my pool, tanning, naked.
Yeah.
And my life has been so amazing. When I was growing up, I knew these porn stars. I jerked off to them, right? They're laying at my pool, naked, tanning. Come on. Come on.
So
I want everybody to applaud.
Yes, I'm gonna applaud to that. But
I don't want anyone. I don't want to talk about this chick.
No, but I'm going to applaud, but I want to know what you did with all these naked tanning chicks at the pool.
No, I was with Lena.
Yeah, you're with Lena, but it seems like Lena was an expert. Plus, you weren't in love with her anyway, right? So why?
No, I was still in love with. No, I was still in love with my fucking wife.
You're in love with your wife. You're there with Lena. There's a bunch of porn stars tanning at the pool. Lena is potentially trying to be a professional porn star, coming off of the amateur. The best way to move from amateur to professional is the girl-on-girl lesbian sex, right? That's the way to move to. That's the way to progress in that porn industry.
David.
What?
David.
What?
I got so much for you. Let's go to commercial. Go to commercial because I got to mix a drink and play some more of my drummer.
Okay, I'll play a commercial right here. Fortunately, I think I have a commercial to play, so I'll do that. I'll play a commercial right now, the Dave Darren Show. Here we go. Let me find the commercial, guys. I think I do have the drummer section of Jameson. I have him playing the drums and a solo. Here we go. Let's play this. Okay, we're back, but let me play another commercial. Here we go. Here goes Ballast.
Sword now?
No thanks. I'd rather have Russian Bear.
Who needs a sword when you have Russian Bear? It's a bodybuilder's right to fight for.
Free bodybuilding program from Val Vassilif with purchase.
If you've got a passion for fashion and you've got a craving for saving, take the wheel of your automobile and swing on down to Ideal.
And what we'll do now is I'm sure he's still mixing a drink because I'm sure he's making really good quality drinks. I'll replay the opener of the Dave Darren Show, so we'll give him another 1 minute and 48 seconds to mix that great drink, and then we'll come back and we'll hear some more. But we do have to get to you guys because I wanted to have you guys come on and talk to me about your lives. All right, so let's here we go.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Oh, hi, everybody. Gee, it's great to be here at the disco. Let me tell you what happened to me the other day.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Okay, I'm back with Jameson. Jameson said I screwed up one of the videos that I wanted to play, and he wanted to have aired. It's him at the drum kit playing like an insanity thing going on. And did you miss that, Jameson? You missed it, right?
Yeah.
Did I?
I'm very upset.
I'll play it again. I'll play it again so you don't miss it, all right? You're there right now? You're watching?
The one I sent you, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I played it. I'll play it again. Here it goes right now. It's a short one. It's like 30 seconds at the drum kit. That's the one you sent me, right?
Let me see. Dave, let me watch. Let me see.
Yeah, check it out.
People know what I do.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to play it now. I'm going to play it now, and everyone's going to see it. Here we go.
People can do that. I'm a fucking lunatic.
I know. You know, I'll tell you why. Now, I saw you in the drum. By the way, we're back now. We're rapping with Jameson. So we saw the video of him playing drums like a fucking maniac. We saw it twice. He's a great drummer. We all got to admit that. And he's. And how many drums in your drum kit, by the way? How many drums do you play? Do you play more drums in the pool? Do you play more drums than the girls standing at the pool? The 7 or 8 girls standing at the pool. Do you play a drum kit more than that, or what?
You know.
No.
So all these drummers. When I talk to drummers and musicians, listen, man. I don't care if you play on garbage cans. I don't care what kind of drum set you own. It doesn't impress me. If you can play. If you can play what you love to play, that's pretty much it. I don't care if I had the cheapest drum set on the planet and I can bust out and kick some ass. I don't care. Put it to you this way. Before we hang up or whatever, you're going to take other callers, I just want to say something. My dream... All right, you're going to make a stupid comment.
No, I haven't made a stupid comment yet. I haven't done one yet.
No, my dream would be either to play for Evanescence or Alanis Morissette. Thank you very much.
That's cool.
All right, so...
Yeah, that's cool.
No, all right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jameson, I want to get you on again. We'll get you on. We have the larger audience, so we can really get your tunes out there. So I'll have you on sometime, probably maybe like 2.5 months from now, when all this virus bullshit's finished as well, okay?
Oh, fuck that. I'll be watching your show tomorrow or whenever the next time you're doing it.
Yeah, next show's tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. You can check out the show. I'm glad you found me, by the way.
Do you know a guy named Corwin?
I do. Yes, I do. Is he the one that mentioned me to you? Corwin, what's his last name? Fabian or something like that? Yes.
Yeah.
That's the connection. That's the connection. So that guy's introduced you to me, and the nightmare began with him. So you probably appreciate him. Okay. So let me get you back on the show in a couple months, but you're going to start listening to the show now as a frequent listener, viewer, and all that shit. So great to have you on the show. So we're going to get you back on, but we'll hang up today, leave these guys with a teaser. And I'm going to remember where we left off. We left off with the 7 girls, the 7 porn stars, tanning at the pool, and then we want to know what you did after that. But we're going to leave the hanger on that, okay?
All right. Hey, man, Dave, I don't know how big your show is, but hey, man, I watched a tiny bit before I made the decision to to talk to you
Yeah.
and do the show. And yeah, I think you're very intelligent. You probably you drink tea. You're into health, and but I think you're intelligent. And Corwin, if Corwin talks to me, Corwin Fabian,
Yeah.
he's a genius. I listen to the fucking guy.
Wow. Now, by the way, I'm curious. Now, Corwin may not be listening tonight, but did he have anything to do in the porn industry? Was he there? And was he?
No.
No, he wasn't.
No.
No. Okay. Well, we can pretend.
No, he just appreciates my art.
All right, cool. Well, Jameson, let me let you go for tonight. We're going to get you back on the air, but I am going to talk to the rest of my audience. I appreciate you joining tonight, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to sit here and watch it. I'm going to turn my speaker on. I'm going to hang up now, man. Stay in touch. I think you do a good job.
Cool, man.
Great.
Thanks. I appreciate you complimenting me. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
All right, take care. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, guys, so I'm back with you guys now. So I was going to have you guys come on, introduce yourselves to me by calling the number 480-236-2111, as you guys usually do. So I got to say hello to John. I got to say hello to Glenn. I got to say hello to Jeff. I got to say hello to Gary. I got to say hello to Bernadette. All you guys are on here. Someone's got to ring this phone number right now and tell me about them. You got to tell me what you're doing right now. Obviously, what you're doing was listen to Jeremy. Or, I'm sorry, Jameson. How could I get his name wrong? Jameson. And so you were listening to him. He was a cool dude. He had some great stories. Top it, all right? Top his story, and then we'll get to your calls, all right? I wanted to ring. By the time you're ringing, I'm going to tell you my story. Because Jameson probably doesn't know that I used to play in a rock band in the 70s and the 80s. I played in a punk rock band. We actually did disco as well. But I'll tell you this story, and I think some of you might have heard this before, because I did tell it one other time, but I'm going to tell Jameson that since he's watching right now. So Jameson, I played in this band called Bandstand. We played down in Wildwood, New Jersey, right? So I had this friend of mine, Bill. And Bill was a guy, he could not get laid. It was like a heavy cigarette smoker. I don't know if the cigarette smoke turned the chicks off or just the way he looked or his attitude. He was kind of a depressed guy, even though he was a young guy. He was always depressed in a bummed out mood. We do have a phone call now. Let's take the phone call before we get into my story. Let's get to know you. Hey, this is Dave Darren on the Dave Darren Show. You are calling from Phoenix, which is located where I am. What's going on?
Actually, I'm calling from Florida, but I still have a Phoenix number.
Oh, yes, you do. This is Gary. What's going on, Gary?
What's up, man? I'm at work.
You're at work? Okay, now, obviously you do not work in the porn industry like Jameson did.
No, I couldn't top that one. I mean, I don't think anybody can top that.
Well, I think he was interested in topping a lot of the girls he was with, including his ex-wife and the porn star, the amateur porn star.
Don't forget, that was his wife that he married in Vegas when they eloped.
Yes, that's right. And they were married for,
And actually, you could do it, and I don't want to sound like I'm making fun of the guy, because I think he was a riot.
Yeah.
But you could play a drinking game for every time he said his Playboy centerfold wife, ex-wife, that he eloped with in Vegas. You can play a drinking game and get blasted on that.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you, it's important, though. You got to qualify. You know, you're a rock star. You're playing in Los Angeles, and everyone wants to have a very sexy Playboy-looking body. When you got to appreciate that. So
who wants to marry an ugly girl anyway?
That's right. That's true. Well, I don't know. Well, you could. Have you ever? You were single at one point, right? You may be single now, for all I know, Gary. Are you single right now?
I'm still married.
You're still married now. When you were single, I was single at one point. I was single, but I was never single because I was always with a girl at one point. I was never single. If you want to really consider that, the one night stands make you not single in all reality. You're with somebody that night. And
That's true.
And now periodically I would have a little bit too much to drink, and there'd be a girl there, and what am I going to do? I'm going to be lonely tonight. What am I going to do? Go and watch porn? Of course, there was no internet back then, so you'd have to go out to a store and rent the movie, bring it back, have this blow up sex doll that if you don't blow it up all the way, it's wrinkly and you can't get it because you don't have enough air in your body because you're drunk. You blow it up, it looks like an old lady because you got a blow-up sex doll with wrinkles all over it. What's the alternative? You pick up some girl that's not that attractive.
Hey, Dave, look.
Right?
I'll tell you.
I never
went to bed with an ugly girl. All right.
You don't know what you're missing.
But when I woke
you don't know
up,
what you're missing.
Something happened to them, and I have no idea what the hell it was. Some of them were well, they definitely were not as attractive as they were when I went to bed with them.
Right. That's true. Well, it depends on which way you're facing. Where you're like upside down. you know, maybe you weren't looking at the hair on the head. Maybe you're looking, because we're older guys in the 70s, they all still had hair. You don't know what part of the body you're looking at. If you're at the wrong angle, you're looking at the wrong part.
Oh, I could always tell which end of the body I was at, my friend.
Well, you weren't that hungover in the morning. I was hungover in the morning. I didn't know. I would have to talk to it in the mouth. If the mouth didn't move and I saw lips, but the mouth wasn't moving, I knew I was at the wrong end.
There you are.
Yep. So tell me about. So now, one of my stories tonight is to try to get to know the callers. Now, I happen to know you a little bit, but I haven't talked to you in a while. So you're at some job. Do you like what you do? By the way, we're all on this little break now. Now, you may be working from home during your day job, but do you like what you do, or do you wish you were doing something else? Especially we're talking to a rocker guy here who's had this life of excitement. You know me, I do a radio show, which is somewhat exciting. Do you wish you did something different than what you're doing in your day job?
Well, of course. I mean, I wish I was back in IT, but that just isn't working at this particular point. So I'm in physical security.
Okay.
And so I'm what they call a flex officer. So I go when and wherever they need me. And for the next, at least for this weekend, I'll be working the graveyard shift from 10 until 6. But no, I'm working on other projects too. If you remember back when we were working together over at United Healthcare,
right.
I was working on that project of mine that was dealing with electricity.
Yeah, you were trying to make electricity out of something, right? That was hard to make electricity. It was a genius product you had, right?
Right, but I called it the Coyote project.
Right, I do remember that. How were you going to make electricity? What was the means of doing that?
Well, all you're doing is turning a generator, and I was using it with a magnetic drive.
Okay, a magnetic drive. So now what happened to that? You had this idea, and I'm assuming you're not a millionaire off this idea, but you could have been, right? What happened? What was the reason? Investors, or what happened to you with that idea? I thought it was a great idea. What happened?
Can't get investors.
Can't get investors.
Because everybody wants to take over the project.
Yeah.
And the moment that they do that, it's sunk. And do you remember a T-Bone Pickens?
I think so. What?
He was an all man. And back when you and I were working together, he had these commercials that came out, and he was telling how he saw the light, and how oil was evil, and how America should invest in wind technology. Well, and he said there were other things that could be done too to get America from being dependent upon foreign oil. So I joined his program, and I tried to get him interested in the Coyote Project. Well, long story short, what T-Bone Pickens' plan was that he was going to try and get the government to buy up all this property out in the Plains states. You're using, what the hell they call it?
Eminent domain. Eminent domain or something like that, right?
Yes, that's it. Eminent domain. Thank you. Anyway, he was going to have the government snatch up all this property by eminent domain, and then he was going to buy it back for pennies on the dollar, build these windmill farms, and then he would be the sole provider for electricity for America.
Bypassing you, because you had a different concept in mind, right?
I had a huge different concept.
Right.
My concept was everyone would have their own little power station in their backyard, no bigger than their air conditioning unit that's sitting right next to their house.
You know who else did this or something similar? Do you know this UFO guy? I forget his name. The one that worked in Area 51, but he was not in Area 51. He was in like Area S or something like that. He was a very well-known guy. I forget his name. Someone's going to probably put it in chat. But do you remember this guy? You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Maybe someone will probably pop up his name here, since everyone that listens to my show is usually involved with the UFO and paranormal stuff. So they'll probably put his name here. The most famous guy has been on Art Bell's show a lot, but someone will pop up his name and I'll tell it to you. So after that, you lost him as an investor. He had his own idea. You had a different idea. Yours was the magnetic thing. His was the wind stuff. So what happened after that? You just couldn't find anyone else, or what?
Well, it's difficult to find investors, and I moved from Arizona here to Florida. Lost a lot of money, so it's very difficult to get back into it.
Yeah. You did. You personally lost a lot of money in this idea.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Bob Lazar. By the way, the name of the guy was Bob Lazar. You ever hear of this guy? I'm sure you did. He was a very popular name. Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar?
Yeah. You ever hear of him?
No.
Okay, I'll have to look him up. I'm not going to tell you his whole story because I'm more interested in your story. But I remember Bob Lazar did something with a vehicle. I think he bought a Corvette, and he was trying to power it some unusual way. I forget if it was magnetics. I forget, but we'll get back to you. So you lost.
But one guy did power the car with water.
I think this is the guy. He powered the car with water. I think
he broke it. I think he broke it down in the water into hydrogen and oxygen.
Yes. This is Bob Lazar. Yes, this is the guy. Bob Lazar. Yep.
I didn't know the guy's name, but I'm familiar with the technology.
Yeah, that's what he did. So did you understand his technology? Was it actually working and feasible? He's got videos of it where he shows it working. Was his idea feasible, or was it a bunch of bullshit?
No, I mean, it's easy to break down the components because all you do is you run electricity through salt water.
Uh-huh.
And the electricity actually causes the molecules to separate into hydrogen and oxygen.
Uh-huh. Huh.
And then if you wanted to get those molecules back together again, then you use another spark and it explodes and the two fuse.
Okay, there we go. So now you spent a lot of money on this. Are you trying to get back into it, or now you're just discouraged? Because it can get discouraging. Because I get discouraged when I do the radio show and I'm trying to grow the audience. So
Well, I'm not discouraged with the project because I made it work. 40 years ago when I was a teenager.
Now, you made it work for yourself? So were you like powering all the stuff in your house and like friends of yours?
No. It wasn't anything that extravagant. It was like a 2.5 watt generator that you turned with a crank, and I had this magnetic wheel on it that the only thing I was able to really power was a light bulb. Wasn't the brightest thing in the world, but hey, it wasn't plugged into anything, and it worked, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So I've been toying with the idea ever since then. Magnetic technology has grown in leaps and bounds since I started playing with this damn thing.
Yeah.
So
you have a patent?
You get real powerful magnets now.
Yeah. Did you patent this idea? Because is it safely? Did you patent it? Is it safely tucked away so that you've got ownership of it, or what's the scoop with that?
No, I don't have it patented yet, and that's why I don't have any of my ideas floating around on the internet, because somebody would steal it and patent it away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is another thing you have to be careful of.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm waiting until I get my act together on my end, a little bit of money saved up so that I can start buying the materials and make a working model that I'm satisfied with. And then I'll probably try and find investors from there, because once I get it the way I want to, I'll probably sell it for a couple of million and say to hell with it and step back from it completely.
Yeah,
so in the meantime,
that's a good idea.
In the meantime, I'm also creating a board game dealing with military history, which doesn't cost me any money at all.
Now, it's a board game, but you know why? I'll ask you this question, because everyone in the millennial generation they're not interested in board games, but maybe they are because board games are kind of cool. And everyone's into online stuff now. Monopoly went to online. That Game of Life went to online. Of course, there's poker now that's online. It's all driven by the internet and all electronics and all digital, where you play online against other people across the planet. So now you're doing a board game. Instead of spending the money and the time on a board game, could you get some people to program it so it's online? Because then you don't need material at all. You don't need a box. You don't need a place to put parts. You don't need anyone to pick it up. You can send them it based upon a PayPal payment for the game online.
I can put it on computer, which I probably will. But there is a huge gaming community out there.
Yeah.
That do still appreciate board games, just like people who still appreciate books instead of the damn ebooks. There's something about sitting across a table from someone, playing cards, playing poker, especially if it's strip poker. Face to face than online. And that's the problem with today's society, is that we no longer have face-to-face interaction. Everything's got to be distant. And this stupid virus, everyone's now saying, oh, we got to keep 6 feet away from me. God, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
They didn't go this crazy with H1N1.
Yeah, I wonder if those, talking about some of the online sites, Cougars.com, right?
Yeah.
So you got these young guys trying to hook up with these older women, and the young guys are like 25 years old. The woman's probably like 55 or 60. 55 or 60, you start getting into the worry about the health, the immune system of the girl with the coronavirus, and then you got the young guy dating the girl. I wonder if that site's like collapsed now, because the young guys now, they're scared of the girl that they're dating who's 60 years old dying of the coronavirus. I wonder if that...
No, I don't think so, Dave. Come on. How many venereal diseases were out there? Did it really slow sex down? Hell, even AIDS didn't slow, casual sex down.
Yeah, well, you're right, because a few nights ago, I actually went and I was searching for these online dating sites. And I found a bunch of them you had to pay for. I didn't feel like paying for them because I don't feel like my wife finding my credit card and I get cut off, because the only person you can have sex with now is your wife, although that's the only person I would anyway. But still, if you get online, I found a couple sites where you didn't have to pay. They were like the Craigslist of pornography. And I went on there and I found all these girls trying to meet guys, guys trying to meet girls, guys trying to meet guys, girls trying to meet girls, transgenders trying to meet guys. And all of the ads were still current, of today, of yesterday, of the day before. They're still all trying to hook up. It hasn't slowed down. The kinky guys who are horny and the chicks that are trying to make money from the horny guys, it's still going on. It hasn't slowed down.
Your best bet is going to a bar.
Yeah, well, you can't now. All the bars are closed, right?
Yeah, all the bars are closed, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Slowing down a lot of people. A lot of people are watching pornography on the line, probably. Do you think so? That's probably an industry now that's... Online poker is booming. Online sex is booming.
Yeah.
Gotta be. So when this project of yours kicks off, now you said you had a working model, but it was just lighting up a light bulb at a little bit of a low intensity. You gotta ramp that up, but you would be able to do it now because you've done it once. So you've probably been thinking all this time about how you can improve on the prototype. You probably have some ideas once you get the components. You probably get something a little more interactive or a little more powerful than a light bulb, which is going to make the gig more exciting to investors, right?
Well, yeah. Basically, I'm using an array of low-revolution, high-output generators. And I have them... I'm not going to give away the actual design, but when you have them in an array, and if one fails, there is a redundant factor in there that is a backup, so you can just swap one out and pop another one back in. And the biggest thing was size. Making them smaller, but giving a decent output, which my design on paper works beautifully. I just have to get the money up to actually build it physically and make it work, which I'm confident that it will. But right now, I can't afford it, so I'm just sitting back, watching everybody tear each other's throats out, thinking, is mankind really worthy enough for this invention or not?
Yeah,
and a lot of times, I think not.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And just for my audience, by the way, when we're talking about something smaller making a larger output, we were talking about the invention of Gary's. We're not talking about Ron Jeremy, okay? Just to clarify, because I didn't want to create confusion amongst the audience, all right? Okay.
No, I can't compare to Ron Jeremy.
Right. Everyone knows in our generation, which you're approximately the same generation as me, we all know who Ron Jeremy is, right? The legend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, who is that?
Oh, hey, I've got one for you.
Okay, there we go. What do you got?
Talking about the porn industry.
Uh-huh.
My wife went to she went to Severna Park High School in Maryland, and they're in Anne Arundel County.
Okay.
She graduated in the class of '76. That's letting you folks know how old I am.
I did too, by the way. I graduated high school in '76, bicentennial year, right?
Yep. One of her friends, I won't say her real name, but became Tracy Adams.
Yes. Tracy Lords, you mean? Tracy Lords?
Nope. Tracy Adams, not Tracy Lords.
Oh, I don't know Tracy Adams. Not as popular as
Tracy
Lords.
You know, because Tracy Lords was the one that turned the porn industry upside down because she was underage.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know that Tracy Lords developed into a regular mainstream actor, or at least a producer or something like that.
Right. Well, you can't get any Tracy Lords videos anymore because it's child porn.
Oh, I did not know that. So she didn't. So she was doing child porn, and she stopped after she became of age, which is unusual.
No, what happened was she went in when she was like 16.
Yeah.
But she didn't look 16.
Huh.
And she lied to the porn industry.
Right.
Well, I think she was like 21 or something like that. I think she went to the feds or something and got an injunction, and all of those movies were confiscated by the feds.
Huh.
Because since she was underage, it was considered child porn.
Yeah, wow. She serve any time in jail for that? Because obviously if someone watches child porn, they're going to get in trouble. And now here she was making child porn, but of course it was from a long time ago. So I guess you can't go retroactively and throw her in jail for making child porn some 30 years ago. However, they're
No, she did this like when she was in her, late teens, early 20s.
Right.
She did it relatively quick.
Yeah.
And then she went into, the regular Hollywood movie industry and did a couple of B and C movies.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
But that's why you can't find Tracy Lords, but that's why you know her name. Now, Tracy Adams was another porn actress from the, I would say, late 70s, early 80s.
Uh-huh. And
if you look her up, you'll find her.
But now your wife went to school with her, elementary school.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only connection.
Yeah. Well, did you ever meet her?
No. But my wife has some stories about her.
Oh, what was the juiciest story? Do you have anything that's juicy that you can share with the audience?
Just about hiding a bottle of vodka in her locker, and started drinking it from the time she got into class to the time she left the school.
Uh-huh.
That's about it. The girl was a train wreck waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But since you were talking about porn earlier, I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, there we go. It's Tracy Adams. I'll have to look her up and see if I guess I can find her stuff because she wasn't underage, so her stuff's still available because we're all in lockdown.
It should be. I haven't looked, but I'm probably sure it is.
Yeah. Well, we're all locked down now, so it's everyone that's watching the Dave Darren Show now, if you want to find a 70s or 80s porn actress, while you're waiting here, is sitting at home, and your wife maybe is out shopping for groceries, and you're sitting at home, you can pull up Tracy Adams, and you can do all kinds of things to Tracy Adams, and make sure you know when your wife's coming home, though. Try to get, you know what you got to do? You got to get these mobile apps. so you can track people. They have them now. On your phone, you can track where people are based upon their cell phone. You can track where their cell phone is. You can do that. So you can watch Tracy Adams, recommended by Gary, because his wife knew her quite well. and you can watch Tracy Adams, recommended by Gary. All right, Gary. So thanks very much for calling in tonight. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't want to take up your whole show. I just wanted to stop in and say hi.
Yeah, cool, man. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, say hello to Florida for me.
All right, say hello to the rest of Arizona for me.
Yep, I'll do that for sure. Cheers, man.
All right, cheers, mate.
Okay, so now we have an open line. Anyone can call in right now if they would like to. They can call in right now. We still have Shell. We have Jeff. We have Bernadette. Jameson's on here. Cool, talking to some of the folks here, and he enjoyed the show. Glenn's on. Let's see, I'll scroll up a bit. My mouse is malfunctioning. I got to get a new mouse, I guess. Let's see, we have Brian Anderson. Anyone else wants to call in, please do so right now, and we will chat with you, okay? I'll give you guys a couple minutes to join in here. So everyone really, I'll tell you about me that some of you guys probably don't know. When I used to do the music show, it was going really, really well. I was in New York City, music videos. I met the band Toto. I met Chic, the disco band. I met all these guys, and they were. I used to do shows from. We got an unknown caller right now, which means it's a heckler. What's more appropriate to have as a closing call on the show than a heckler? It's Dave Darren on the Dave Darren Show. You are calling in right now on an unknown line, but let's see who's on. Who do we got?
Is this Dave Darren, the Dave Darren?
This is. I think this is. Let me take a guess now. Let me forget your nickname now. It's Dick Groinpain. Is this Dick Groinpain?
You are incorrect, sir.
There we are. There we are. All right. So what's going on? Well, I blocked you. I thought I blocked you, but you come in as an unknown line. You're trying to call in here and fuck up the end of my show, which is perfect because today's show has been a total fuck up, and you are the appropriate guy to end my show in total tragedy. So go with it. What do you got to say?
I think you're confused. This is Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. I'm sorry. I thought this was Dick Groinpain. All right, Jeff. I apologize. This is Jeff on the Dave Darren Show. I confuse you.
What's going on?
You sound like somebody else, by the way. All right. So what's going on in your neck of the woods? What are you doing here?
I'm on vacation. We're hanging out at the house on the compound here.
Uh-huh.
We're just having, we're just dealing with life. We're eating. We're being merry. Kind of relaxing. It's pretty nice, actually.
It is.
I like the break from the norm.
I do too. I've been going out. A lot of people are enjoying the break from the norm. You see them out there with their kids, their dogs. They're walking around. They're not getting close to you. They're staying socially distanced away. But they don't look like they're sad. They're not depressed. They're not bummed out. Now, I do live in a better neighborhood, so people aren't financially struggling. If you're financially struggling, I'm sure we're not going to get a grin and a happy look from you. So depending on your type of life, it could be somewhat tragic, right? But you're having a happy time. You're enjoying yourself, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pretty nice change of pace. Okay. That's for sure.
Okay, so, since today's show is a little bit bizarre, which a lot of my shows are, so fuck it, a lot of my shows are bizarre. Do you have kids in the house as well as a wife and you?
Yeah, I've got a 14-year-old.
Okay, so that's kind of a bummer because obviously everyone wants to enjoy this time with their wife in an atmosphere of an adult situation, and you got your 14-year-old kid there that you can't send out of the house, or can you send them out of the house? And then you got some of that free time with your wife to rekindle the romance. How's that end up going?
Oh, it's fine. That's why I got in the basement. I got doors locked. I mean, it's pretty much soundproof down here. Once the kid goes to bed, bam, it's on.
It's on. But however, you're in the basement. Is it at least carpeted? Your buns are not on cement, are they?
Well, part of it is just depends on what we're into that night. But sometimes it's carpet burn, sometimes it's concrete scrapes. Just like on the playground, you get the little concrete scrapes, bam.
Yep. Did you ever do it on the beach? I remember, one time I was at the beach. Her name was, I'm trying to think of her name now, Debbie. I'm on the beach. I'm down in Wildwood, New Jersey, I think it is. And we decided it was like a cloudy day, a little cool breeze. And her and I are doing it on the beach. She's very uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable because of the sand. And if you want to cut down the size of your penis or get circumcised, you don't have to do that. Just screw on the beach and you can sand it down. Not comfortable. Did you ever do it on the beach?
About 3 times.
3 times. Did you enjoy it? I thought it was horrible. Did you enjoy it?
It was because it was like midnight, you know, and the only problem is those little sand crab things come up sometimes, and you gotta kind of keep them away while you're busy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, usually it's it's nice with the waves coming in and moonlight. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. So you get crabs either way. If you're with the wrong girl, you get crabs one way. If you're with the right girl, you still get sand crabs at the beach. It's crabs either way, right? Crabs either way.
Well, luckily I never got the ones that require a doctor's prescription. But, yeah, those little sand crabs, they can mess up your mood and your timing, that's for sure.
Yep. Well, you don't have to go to a doctor when you got crabs. They had that thing called RID. I remember that. RID. You can buy that and you can get rid of the crabs. You can donate them. You can donate them then to an Italian restaurant. They'll cook them up with the spaghetti.
I used to put them in my rice.
Or rice. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff too.
Yeah, that's right. So, did you enjoy the show tonight? Did you check out Jameson? Did you enjoy his talking about the porn girl? And did you listen to that part, or you joined later and you missed it?
No, I joined at the beginning. It was interesting because I used to date a Playboy model too, and I just was wondering if they kind of knew each other. But I think the generations are a little off, so probably not. I was dating the girl back in like 92, 93.
Oh,
but,
now, what was she? Was a stripper? Was she a porn chick? Was it a stripper that turned into porn? What happened with that relationship?
She was one of the, I guess they had a special thing going on with Playboy models with teachers. She was a teacher.
She was a teacher?
And she was one of the issues. I think I still have it somewhere.
Hot for teacher.
But yeah.
Hot for teacher.
That was probably the theme of it. I think that was the theme, yeah.
Yeah, right. So now, how long were you with her? Were you with her like for a couple weeks, couple months? How long were you with her?
We were together about 2 years.
Wow, that is a long time. And she never. Yeah. Now with Jameson, obviously the chick cheated on him. Now you're with a girl. It's similar. Did she ever cheat on you, or you just don't know and you're not sure?
Oh no. She actually it's kind of sad, but not to be a downer, but she died in a car accident. So that's how that relationship ended. To say.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Wow. Was it exciting while it lasted? Like, did you do a lot of wacky stuff with her, Jeff? When we talked to Jameson, we were talking about automobiles and cars and classic cars. Did you ever do in the back seat of a car with a bench seat in the back? Did you ever do her in the back seat?
Yeah, her dad had a Gremlin, one of his old Gremlin cars.
That's not a big. It's not a big car. It's not a big car. What was it? Was this a midget? She goes, "This is not a big car."
Well, no, but she was flexible, so
flexible. Wow,
that's all that counts.
You know, I will tell you this. One time I went to a strip club, and talk about flexibility. The girl was able to be on the pole, and she was able to bend over and enjoy herself, if you get what I mean. That is flexibility. Now, would you describe that girl that you were with, is that flexible or not quite that flexible?
She was a gymnast before she became a model and a teacher.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she was quite flexible.
Yeah, very cool. So you broke up with her, obviously, before she had died, which is too bad. But when you broke up with her, was it a happy breakup? How could it be a happy breakup when you're dating someone like that? It's not happy. It's kind of sad because of all the wild times you had with her. Could not be happy. You're missing her, right?
Well, we didn't actually break up. We were still in a relationship when she died, but we had a fight. So, yeah.
You had a fight. What was the fight about? Can I ask you? Do you mind sharing that? What was the fight about?
We were trying to decide where we were going to live. If we were going to live on the East Coast, the West Coast, or she mentioned something about Texas, where her family's from. And, we were just going back and forth, and, we both got, upset about the whole situation, and I think we both kind of slammed the phone down at the same time, and she took off to go to a friend's house or something, and that's what had happened. So, we never, obviously, we kind of ended on weird terms.
Yeah, wow, that's too bad. Oh, I guess it's too bad. Who knows? Like, I dated a stripper for about 3 weeks, and I found out that she was doing a little more stuff than just stripping. So at that point, I had to say goodbye to her. And I did say goodbye to her with a final gangbang there, not with me and her, not a gangbang. I had to say my final goodbyes in the appropriate way, and that was the way that ended, which was kind of she was pretty hot too. She was a really good stripper too, but that's how it ended. She cheated on me, like Jameson's girl did, like his wife did, which is worse. At least I was just dating her, expecting the worst, and the worst came to fruition, and that was the end of that. And she was from Philadelphia. She stripped at J&G Bar. I still remember the place, and it's no longer there because I drove by it because I thought maybe I'll see her there now dancing at the age of 60 on the pole, but she's not there anymore. So I appreciate you calling, man.
All right, you have a good one.
Yeah, well, before you go, though, do you enjoy my show? Do you think I should do it somewhat differently? What do you think? Give me your advice here. What do you think of the show?
Well, are you talking about the show coming up, like the music show, or like these little shows you've been doing daily?
Yeah, okay, so let's compare it. So you never listened to my music show before when I did it, so you have no idea if it's good, bad, or indifferent. So you know me from the paranormal show. You know me from doing these wacky off-night shows where I talk about bullshit. You know I do some stuff about the coronavirus, which are more serious and more informative to everyone. And then you know I'm going to do the music show. Out of all of them, do you think I'm better at one than the other?
Well, it depends. Some of your rant shows are entertaining.
Okay.
And I do have a blast talking with other people and, in chat, just kind of ragging on you a little bit. That is kind of fun at times. The paranormal shows are interesting, except for that UFO guy. He was a complete crackpot.
Yeah.
And the music shows, I'll listen, but it's like with anything else. If I'm not particularly interested in a particular show, it doesn't mean I don't like all the shows in general, but it means, maybe I'm just not into that. So, yeah, I'll listen to anything, but I'm not going to be a loyal every night listener. Yeah. If I don't like a particular topic, I just won't listen. And I'm like that with everything.
And it makes good sense. And I'll tell you, when I used to do the show on terrestrial radio, this is some years back, I used to, and the company I work for, the radio station I work for, used to give me the shows on CDs. And then they moved it to the mini discs. So that was kind of interesting. The mini discs weren't that popular, but they had a mini disc recorder. And they used to give me the CDs or the mini disc. And I used to listen to them back. And I used to get a magic marker, and I used to put on a scale of 1 to 10 how the show went. In my opinion, how it went. And in my wife's opinion, how it went, because she used to listen too. And then I realized that, every show can be as good as the previous show, or some shows are better. And even if you watch like Saturday Night Live, not every skit works. So I started to not go down on myself, when not literally go down on myself like that stripper could go down on herself. But I didn't go down on myself for having a fucked up show and a really show that sucked. And still, even to this day, depending on the guest or depending on my mood of the evening, and it's complicated when you have a day job that's serious, and then to try to click on a light switch and do a show like I do, it's sometimes challenging because always in the back of my mind I got the stresses from the day job. So I wish I didn't have my day job. I wish I just could do this. But it's so complicated to just do this and get an audience. It's really complicated. So I do appreciate you listening and telling me the honest truth of the show. And I appreciate you as a fan and listener whenever you can get a chance to listen or you like the particular format of that show. Okay?
All right. Sounds good, man.
Okay. Cheers, man. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Later.
Okay, so anyone else like to call in? You still have about, I'm at the top of the hour now. We've talked now for a couple hours. But if you'd like to call in, the line is free, 480-236-2111. Again, 480-236-2111. And I will get you on the show right now. You would be the final caller. It's funny when I get these unknown callers and I don't know who they are, I take the risk in taking them, but sometimes legitimate callers call in unknown. So let me play a commercial here, and then either I'll be back to say goodbye, or I'll be back with a caller, depending on if you guys want to call in. And tell me about yourselves. That's what tonight's show is supposed to be. We didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of so many people calling in, so I think we'll do that tomorrow night. We'll continue this as a part 2. Without the elongated one caller, we will get to each one of you. So if you do want to hold off until tomorrow night for me to get to you one by one by one by one, then we'll do a show tomorrow. Or if you want to come on as the last caller after the commercial, we do have a caller now. Let's get a caller in here from Nevada. You're calling from Nevada on the Dave Darren Show. What's going on tonight?
Hi, just hanging out there listening. Been enjoying the show a lot. This is Glenn, by the way.
Oh, Glenn, cool. So now, did you join in the very beginning, or did you join sort of at the end or in the middle?
I joined about 10 minutes in. Of course, YouTube does its normal. We're going to send you a notification when we feel like it.
Yeah, that's that is a problem, and a lot of people complain. They say, Dave, I have no idea when you're on, and the people are all members of my Facebook group, and they're all members of or subscribers to the YouTube channel. And I'll tell you, it is a disaster the way they run their businesses. And that's probably because I don't pay them to boost the show or promote the show on these two forums. And I probably should do that more. And then I would grab a larger audience if I spent the effort to do that. So, Glenn, I appreciate you calling. So you enjoyed tonight's show, which was more off the wall, probably for more of a select group of audience. I'm sure some people complain. I saw Mike got bored as fuck with the show, which is on you. How could you get bored with the top? How could you get bored with tonight's topic? How could you get bored?
No, I thought it was really entertaining. I thought James did a really good job, and a lot of the things he talked about, I can kind of corroborate because I knew a lot of people that were in LA back in the 80s and 90s, and of course the things he told about Las Vegas, yep, absolutely true, since I've been living here for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So definitely entertaining.
Now, Las Vegas, I go there quite a bit. Now, I did notice that before they had whether they were legal aliens or illegal aliens, and they got the little cards, and they got the girls' pictures on the card, and they got a phone number to call, and they're clicking them on their wrist and handing them out. It doesn't matter. They'll hand them out to your wife. It doesn't matter. Do they still do that? I think they cleaned that up, didn't they?
They attempted to. I'm not sure if it was cleaned up because I don't spend a whole lot of time on the Strip or downtown. Although people think the Strip and downtown are the same thing, but they're completely different environments. Downtown is more like old Las Vegas used to be, with the friendly casinos and smaller, more intimate family kind of atmosphere. Well, not really a family anymore, but yeah, I don't spend a whole lot of time in the touristy areas unless I have friends and family from out of town. I live kind of in the suburbs near Summerlin.
Okay. Oh, okay. I know that area. Now, I'll tell you, I used to live in Las Vegas. I was a blackjack dealer in Las Vegas in the early 80s. I don't know how many people knew that or not. And then I didn't go there anymore for a lot of years. And I went back with my wife like in 96. And then I'm asking people if they enjoy living in Las Vegas. And I got to tell you, most people don't enjoy living in Las Vegas. Do you enjoy living in Las Vegas?
Absolutely. The summers get a little hot, but that's what air conditioning's for. And pretty much once you leave the Strip and downtown area, it's pretty much like any other large suburb. And plus we have wonderful scenery, and for people who like hiking like I do, we have Mount Charleston to go to in the summer, and Red Rock in the winter, and Valley of Fire not too far away, about 90 minutes away.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of things to do that have absolutely nothing to do with gambling or touristy things.
Okay, now I got to ask you this, of course. Are you into gambling at all? Do you play at all? Have you experimented with that? Have you tried and you lost and you gave it up? Well, anything interesting with gambling-wise?
Not really, because as you probably already know, and I worked for the casino industry for a lot of years, and I realized my salary was not paid from people's winnings. So I always knew it was a losing proposition. Years ago, when my family was visiting here before we moved here, I would go bring $10, $20 in nickels. This is how long ago it was, nickels, and play for a little while. But never was a big gambler. Although I did play back when they used to have 7-card stud. I used to gamble. I never did the Texas Hold'em thing.
Okay, right, and it's funny. You can when you go to Vegas now. Is there any 7-card stud at all, or it's not?
I have not seen a stud game in decades.
Yeah, me neither. That's exactly right. Now, I got to tell you, I worked for Caesars Entertainment for a while. I don't know if you knew that, as a regular IT guy. And then, of course, I worked for the casinos. And when I worked for the casinos in the 80s, they used to bring you in there, and you were a number to them. They could give a crap about you whatsoever. If they wanted to get rid of you, there was always a guy there who would come in and audition to be a dealer. What they would do is they would wear a white shirt, black pants, and they would go and say, "Are you auditioning today, looking for dealers?" And they always were. Then the pit boss would let you in there, tap out the current dealer, put you on that table. The current dealer would watch you. The floorman would watch you. And if you were good enough, they would sometimes ask you to come back the next day, and you're hired. So they treated you really badly. In fact, a lot of them would hire you for like 3 months. And as soon as the 3 months expire, where they had to put you on medical and all that stuff, they would get rid of your ass because someone else would come in and fill in behind you. And when I worked for Caesars Entertainment on the IT side, it wasn't a lot better. So when you worked in the casinos, depending on what you did, were you treated fairly, or you thought it was crap and you don't do it anymore?
Well, what's funny is I was there. I started at the Golden Nugget back in the late '80s. And at that time, Steve Wooden was just getting started. He had just, finally taken over the Golden Nugget. He was getting ready to start the Mirage. And back then, when you were corporate, or just when you were at the Golden Nugget downtown, they actually kind of treated you like family. The thing about human resources, where you're treated like a piece of paper or a pencil, that didn't actually come in until MGM took over.
Ah, right. And now the big owners of all those casinos are either MGM or Caesars. They dominate the ownership down there, right?
Pretty much, yeah, except for the local hotels.
Yeah, right. So, in fact, when I worked at Caesars Entertainment, I don't know if you heard this before, I was working with a guy there, and he was driving the car that was like on his last leg. He actually owned a golf course, and the golf course went bankrupt when the economy turned like trash in 2007. And he lost the golf course, lost all of his money, was kind of broke. And this is only like a couple years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. So I'm working in Caesars Entertainment. I went there for like a gig doing IT stuff. He came there, he drove. Now I drove from Phoenix to there. It's not that far. He drove all the way from Texas to there. And I was there for like 2 weeks, and I realized they were abusing the fuck out of me. They were making me do multiple jobs and paying me for one. And on a Friday, I sent an email. I said, look, I'm not coming back here unless you pay me more. And I said, if you don't pay me more, then don't worry about it. I left my laptop with, and I gave the name of the person I left the laptop to. So I left that, and they never called me back, of course. I found out by that guy that was there. He stayed there 2 weeks longer than me, so he was there for 4 weeks in total. And he was kind of a guy he was living in an extended stay right near the Rio. If you know where the Rio is, there's an extended stay right there. He was living there. And he went in on a Monday, and someone was sitting in his cubicle, and he went to the HR, and they said, well, you got canned today. Goodbye. On a Monday, and he could have left on a Friday night, not having to pay for the extended stay for Saturday or Sunday because the guy was on his last leg. And he lost his gig and had to drive all the way back to Texas. It sucked. The treatment there was terrible. I was so glad I kind of screwed them rather than them screwing me. So I was the guy that... He called me up and he said, I'm glad you did that. At least someone screwed them. So Caesars and MGM, they treat people badly. I've heard horror stories of both of them.
Yeah, I loved working for Mirage Resorts when I was there. I worked there when Steve Wooden still ran the corporation from the late 80s all the way up until mid-2000, around 2005, 2006. It was a wonderful company to work for. And being in corporate IT, I didn't have to stay at the hotels. We had a separate facility for the IT people. But I actually enjoyed going down there when I was going there for work. But yeah, once MGM took over, human resources was exactly that. You're a piece of paper, you're a pencil, you can be replaced. And I may have interviewed for the Caesars job right after you left. Was it about roughly 2 years ago?
Yeah, just about. Exactly about that time, right.
So they were interviewing somebody for a system administrator, engineer / project manager. And that's one of the positions I applied for. I don't know if that's what you were doing, but...
No, I was a project manager only. That's all I was. Did you get hired?
Okay.
Did you get hired at all, or you didn't get hired?
No, I didn't get hired. They said that I did fairly well in the interview, but then they called me back with a follow-up interview with a whole bunch of really, really weird questions, and they said, well, we didn't like your answers, so you didn't get the job. But then I actually talked to you about when you were working for Caesars, and I was very glad I did not get that job.
Yeah.
And I wound up working for a company that does remote IT work, so I wound up working from home, which was fantastic, which I'm still doing now.
Yep. Now, when they actually told you they didn't like your answers, did they tell you that?
Well, they didn't exactly say that, but they basically said that other people did better, basically. And I think it was the fact that I didn't have any recent certifications because I'd been working with one particular type of software, backup and storage software, for years, and that's the only thing I was certified in. and they wanted somebody who was a Microsoft certified system engineer. And I said, well, I used to be back in 2000, but not anymore. But yeah, they had people who had more recent experience. But based on what you told me about Caesars, I'm so glad I didn't get that job.
Yeah. I tell you, it's hard for me to get gigs. Fortunately, I don't do that anymore because now I manage the company that I own. I send people to these IT gigs. But it would be hard for me to do that now because when I do the radio show now and I enjoy it so much, I enjoy the entertainment value. It's funny to do entertainment and do IT. What happens is one of them takes over the other. So my entertainment life now dominates my personality. So for me to sit there and do Microsoft Project or Excel, it would bore the crap out of me because I became the entertainment Dave Darren rather than the IT guy. I don't think I could ever do it again.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like loads of fun. But yeah, you have to balance out. I happen to be doing a job that I enjoy doing, so that's great. But even if you enjoy doing the job, you don't want to let it consume you. You don't want it to be a 24/7 thing. So, when I'm not working, I play the piano, I play a little bit of guitar, I do voiceover work. That was funny. One of the funny things, I was going to be able to go to San Diego Comic-Con as an industry professional because of my voiceover and associate producer work with Star Trek Continues and a couple of other work.
Wow, that's right. Right. And okay, I'll wait. You got a call there or something?
No, my headset died, so I had to switch.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you listened to the program when I had Vic on from Star Trek Continues. That was a blast, right?
Oh yeah.
He's in
Vic's definitely a character, and the person you were talking to is the person he always is. He's always like that.
Now he's in a little bit of trouble now. You heard about this? You've heard about it?
I heard rumors, but I kind of dismissed them.
Yeah, I dismissed them too. It's too bad. Some of the rumors are that he's been a little bit with the women and trying to pick them up or something like whatever the story is. Some sexual aggression towards them. And actually having talked to the guy for an hour, I'm usually pretty good at understanding who people really are. And if you talk to them for a full hour, actually that interview went on for an hour and a half. I got a vibe of the guy that I believe I know who he is. And now, of course, I didn't work with him at Comic-Con and all the stuff he did with some Japanese anime and voiceover work. I haven't worked with him on a day-to-day basis, so I could be fooled. But I'm pretty good with doing the Vulcan mind meld and understanding who the guy is. I don't think he is that guy. I think he's innocent. I think he's judged by social media to be guilty before he's actually proven himself innocent, which is too bad. It really is.
Yeah, and I would agree with that assessment. And I know that when you're a good-looking guy who's done a lot of famous anime work and done live action stuff, and there's going to be some flirting going on. But I'm going to guess that it probably never got much beyond that.
Yeah, and you're right. I'll tell you, I've been flirted with. When I was on terrestrial radio, and of course you don't know me from those days, I was on Phoenix Radio, and I was actually trying to get like an entourage of co-hosts with me to make the show more like not a family type of show, because it was an adult-oriented comedy, so it was worse than Tonight Show, by the way. But I had a couple females and me. And one of them actually tried to, she invited me out to dinner with her or something. And I thought, okay, so it's a co-host. We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to talk about the show and all this. And she started to take an ice cube out of her drink. And she had a low V-cut top. And she starts sliding the ice cube on her chest. And this is not a joke. So I realized that. And I thought, well, first of all, I'm not going to cheat on my wife. Second of all, even if I was going to cheat on my wife, I wouldn't do it with the co-host of the show. And so it ended because I guess she got embarrassed that she did that, and I rejected her. But you're right. When you're in that situation, this was like 10 years ago. So I used to look better 10 years ago than I do now. So I was getting hit on by some of the guests, my co-host. And you're right. I can believe that people like Vic, who's a very good-looking guy, he's done movies, he's done TV, he's going to get hit on. So it's a natural occurrence. It's going to take place, right?
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So have you, in my yearbook, I actually wrote down that I wanted to be a recording engineer, which is sort of what I'm doing now. Did you ever write anything in your yearbook that you wished you were doing and you're not doing and you regret not having done it?
Well, I've always loved music, and I did sing with the university men's chorus for about 6 years. Well, 4 years while I was there, and then 2 years afterwards with continuing education. And I do sing on occasion, and I've played piano in casinos and hotels on occasion. So I kind of wish I could do that full time, but in today's environment, unless A, you join the union, and B, you get really, really lucky, it's very difficult to do as a career.
Yep, that is very true. That is very true. So you kind of wish you could do that. And I kind of wish I could do this radio show and do this as a livelihood. I really wish I could do that, but you're right. It is brutal. There's competition. There's competition now with everyone thinks that they could do that. By the way, you do have a very good voice, by the way. I could understand why you do voiceover work because it's a great voice you got there. Did you ever think of doing radio?
Well, actually, I interviewed not that long ago to do a podcast for a larger company. They wanted 2 one-hour podcasts a week, and I realized very quickly that there's no way with my full-time job that I could do that. And at this point in time, I'm not giving up my full-time job.
Right. What would the topic have been? What kind of genre was it they were looking for you for?
They were looking for talking about the latest technology, pros and cons. So hold on one moment, please.
Okay, sure. So, by the way, Jeff says here, I wish I could do a show. That's a show like this. You mean like a podcast or be a YouTuber? Some YouTubers, by the way, they make a lot of money. There's this one guy out of Philadelphia, Doug Merrow, I think his name is. He does a car show where he does the quirks and the features of an automobile. He's got like 1 million viewers. So there are people out there. There's another guy who does like a comedy version of his show, Hoovy's Garage, Tyler Hoover. And he buys a car, always makes a mistake. You don't really realize if it's like a fake gig where he's doing these mistakes on purpose, like all these fake reality shows. But he's got 1 million viewers too. So these guys are making a living out of YouTube shows. So for Jeff, who says he wishes he could do a show, if you find the niche and if you're willing to market the show, like I have a hassle doing that. My full-time job doesn't allow me the ability to market and promote this show. So that's why I have so few viewers. But if you have the ability to spend time marketing and promoting your show or finding someone to help you promote it, like I do have someone who's going to help me on the 29th of this month to promote the music show version of the Dave Darren thing, then maybe it's going to work out again. We will see. But it's hard to do it unless you're lucky, connected, have the right format, and you're a likable guy. So that's all we got there. So let's see if my caller comes back on here. Glenn?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay, Glenn, so you're back. So that was kind of cool. So by the way, you've listened to my show. Out of the formats that I've done, the music show, which you never probably heard my music show before. Have you ever heard me do the music show?
I didn't hear the music show on terrestrial radio, but I did see the music video show that you were doing when you came back into it a few years ago. That's how I actually ran into you in the first place.
Okay, so between the music show, the paranormal show, and the random shows I do, the rant shows that I do, what did you have anything that you thought I'd do better than the others? What do you think? Am I better at one? Should I stick to one? Because I'm all over the board.
Well, actually, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun doing all of these shows. So I think you should stick with the random shows in between the radio, in between the music video shows. I do think that you had a, let's see, how do I want to put this?
No, you can put it, by the way, you can put it rudely, by the way. I don't mind taking criticism. If you say I do something poorly, just tell me that. That's okay, I can handle it.
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with poorly or doing it well. It's just that, let's say you had a more professional air about you when you were doing the music video show. That you were a little bit, I mean, you did joke around, but you were mostly serious. You asked really good leading questions and follow-up questions, and they'll probably ask you to do this when you get the sponsored show again. Is not so much of the cussing and ranting, although, like I said, on the shows in between, I happen to enjoy the cussing and ranting. So.
Well, I get. Well, actually, to be honest, when I do the show and I come back and I have the sponsor, promoter, and PR guy helping me out. I think they're going to, when you do stuff online and you're not on terrestrial radio, you can't get away with it on terrestrial radio, of course. But when you do a show like I do with the sponsor that's coming back to help me out, I'll be able to get away with that stuff. And when you talk to rock and metal bands, you know, it's going to go in that direction anyway. So I think it'll be okay. Now, I may lose some of the fans that listen to me now that tolerate me because I use a limited amount of it. When it goes to the rock and metal guys, it may get a little more extreme. We'll see, though.
Yeah, well, you pretty much have to go where the interview takes you in those cases.
Yeah, pretty much. That's right. That's exactly right. So, Glenn, I appreciate you calling in from Vegas. Tell me, what's the scene like in Vegas now with the coronavirus? I actually got online, and I was checking out some of the webcams, and I found one of like downtown on Fremont Street. The Fremont Street Experience is closed. There's none of the Sky guys going across. There's nothing going on there. In fact, they had it roped off from what I saw. Anything going on in Vegas at all, or is it sad now? Is it a sad environment because everyone's there enjoying the lifestyle that Vegas brings you? What's it like? What's the feeling? What's the vibe? Tell me about it.
Well, in my neighborhood and in the neighborhoods of my friends who are also people who work online from home, not much has changed. I mean, we still take our dogs to the park. We still wave hello. We just don't congregate in large groups anymore. And as far as going to the store, going to restaurants, everybody's, ordering groceries online, ordering from the restaurants online, that sort of thing. People are doing a lot more cooking at home. But I have found that I've been able to get in more touch with people that I hadn't been in touch with in a while since everybody's stuck at home. So that's actually a positive aspect.
Yeah, that is true. That is really. Do you find that you're more productive now working at home? Now, you've always been working at home for a lot of time. You told us that. Some people.
Yeah, nothing changed for me because the only thing I maybe do a little bit more of is washing my hands a little bit longer and maybe using a little bit more sanitizer before I go to see my mother because I visit her every week. She still works full time now. For her, she's going stir crazy because she's used to going to an office and working every day and then coming home. And she's been having to work from home, so she's going nuts.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Now, I do know a lot of people listen to the Dave Darren shows. As they listen to me, they like the sexual content. I told them to check out this stripper who does some porn stuff online. So for a lot of the Dave Darren listeners, they've always washed their hands a lot because they're whacking off a lot. And when they're done whacking off, they do wash their hands a lot. So for us, it's no different either. We're washing up a lot.
There you go.
Right. We've always been washing our hands on the Dave Darren show. It's a ritual, right? So Glenn, I do appreciate you calling into the show from Las Vegas. I appreciate that a lot. Keep listening to the show, and hopefully I'll be entertaining you in the future, okay?
All right, sounds good. Have a good one.
Hey, you too. Cheers, man.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, I think tonight we're done with the show. Tomorrow we'll do maybe something identical to this. We'll just have a blast talking to one another because I didn't get a chance to talk to Angie from New Jersey who asked me what the cart is in the back, the stroller. And someone said it's for my dog. Do you see my dog in the back, by the way? I'll move over. We have a Belgian Shepherd called a Turberin, which is actually not Turdberin. Turberin, it's the sister breed of the Malinois that the police use, and actually I think the Malinois was actually the one that was utilized to capture Osama bin Laden. He is actually 65 pounds. He's not going to fit in that stroller. That's for our cat, believe it or not. Sometimes we take our cat in that stroller, and we have one cat that likes to sleep in that even during the day. So that is for our cat. Our dog would not fit in that thing. So that's for our cat. So let's see. Anything else? I'll try to read some. I do parodies and voice impersonations. That's what Jeff does. That's very cool, Jeff. You should do impersonations and come on this show and call up. Some of the hecklers call up and some of the trolls call up and pretend that they are other people. You probably heard that. Call up and pretend you're someone else. Do Sean Connery or do Christopher Walken. Do something like that. Call into the show next time, maybe tomorrow night, and do an impersonation for us, okay? So I think that's all I got except for the closer for tonight's show. I appreciate everyone calling in. And I appreciate tonight's major guest, Jameson, who's a really cool dude, and we're going to have him on again in the future. Jameson Peterson. Like I said, a guy with 2 last names versus Dave Darren, a guy with 2 first names. Thanks a lot for joining tonight, and I will see you guys later on. Here's the closer, guys. Thanks.
It's my
to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.